Welcome to Trail Manners, the podcast so dedicated to mountain trails and running that they broadcast out of a 78 Volkswagen bus in the mountains. Who does that? Eric and Joel are your hosts and will bring you the trail life as you may have not heard it before. You hear about everything from gear reviews, nutrition to keep you upright and moving forward, and they'll even bring guests into the bus for conversations that you won't hear anywhere else. It's time for some running adventures on a higher elevation. The old 78 Volkswagen bus is fired up and headed to the mountains. Here are your hosts for Trail Manners, proudly representing the 801 with their passion and love for the trails. Eric Manning and Joel Hatch.
Welcome to the Trail Manners Podcast, episode number 88. Today, Joel gets Michael Laymon from the Trail Initiative on the phone out of San Diego, California, to talk more about what he's got going on. So if this is your first time listening, then thanks for coming. The Trail Manners Podcast is produced every week for your enjoyment, and show notes are found at trailmanners.com. Come back often, and please feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Trail Manners. All links from the show notes. Now let's get after it.
All right, welcome to episode 88 of the Trail Manners Podcast. I'm your host, Joel Hatch. Eric Manning will be sitting this one out. So for show number 88, we have Michael Laymon on the phone from San Diego, California. Michael is the founder of the Trail Initiative. Their mission is to clean, restore, and preserve trails in the Southern California area. Mike, thanks for calling into the show today.
Oh, thanks for having me, Joel.
So tell me a little bit.
Appreciate you taking time.
Oh yeah, no problem. I appreciate you, taking your time away from your busy hospital schedule to jump on the mic and talk to it.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it. So tell me a little bit about the Trail Initiative. What is it, and how did you come up with it?
Well, we started the Trail Initiative in March 2017. It initially started with my 4-year-old son, believe it or not. We were on our daily hike that we do together, and he saw some trash on the trail, and he looked at me and he goes, Dad, this is really sad. This is, and I go, well, what's wrong, bud? And he goes, well, there's trash on the trail that doesn't belong on the trail. That belongs in the garbage. A 4-year-old. I was like, wow. So we picked it up, together and threw it away. It was just a little bit of trash, but I went home and it just really hit me that a 4-year-old was so distraught about things we don't really think about. And then so the next day I was still thinking about it. I turned to some of my trail running friends, and I asked them, I was like, well, what if we start a foundation, just a group of guys, wanting to make a difference, help restore and clean and preserve trails, out here in Southern California. And then it just skyrocketed from there. I met with a good friend of mine, Eric, and we started talking about how we can make this grow, and we came up with the name, the Trail Initiative, because we all wanted to take an initiative to make trails better out here. And it made an Instagram page, a Facebook page, and it just really, really blew up, and started holding events, free events from social media, and there it went. So that's how it started. It's small, but we're quickly expanding. So
right. So you said you started March of this year.
March of this year, yeah, and we have over 600 followers now. We just did our first cleanup at a local trail here in Rose Canyon. We had a pretty good following. It was during a race, so not a lot of people showed up, but we got it done. We cleaned about 6 bags of trash in about a mile span on one of these trails here in San Diego.
Yeah, I saw the picture of that. That was not small trash bags. Those are like packed.
No,
pills.
these are like industrial size, like bigger than hefty bags,
Right. What was
not only that?
What was the most type of trash item? So if there was one that was like, that you found consistently over and over again, was it like beer cans? What did you find the most?
Most of it was plastic. You name it. Plastic bottles was the big one. We found a car battery.
Oh my gosh,
couple
really?
tires. Yeah, yeah. It
How did
was
they get a
crazy.
car
It
battery
was,
out there? Was that was there like a road close
you
to it?
know, I have no clue how we were wondering that ourselves. We were like, how the heck do people get a car battery out here? And we work with the local rangers, and the rangers were saying that they were having a lot of homeless people live out on the trail we're cleaning up. So
Did you guys
what they
come
were doing with
across
a
any
car
like
battery,
camps?
probably yeah, it was crazy. Bike tires, buckets, you name it. It was
Ew.
crazy.
Really? Bucket?
Yeah,
Like they're gonna like poop
like
buckets? What's going on?
bathroom buckets. Yeah, like
Oh, gross.
straight up ultra marathon. I need to poop buckets.
Right.
So it was crazy, and this was just a couple miles, and
Right.
this trail we were working on, it goes for 10, 20 miles, I believe. And that was just one trail. It was it was crazy. Bottles, buckets, tents, sleeping bags,
Right.
you name it. It was crazy.
So tell me a little bit about and I'm sorry to get off topic here, but tell me a little bit
Oh no,
about your trail running culture there in San Diego. You guys have you have a lot of races down there. You guys just had the San Diego 100 this past weekend.
yeah,
You have
yeah,
like a
we did.
super strong trail running community down there?
You know, we do, and it's actually really growing. Not only are we doing cleanups with the trail initiative, we're doing training runs and group runs. We just had a group run this Sunday, and about 10 people showed up.
How are you
All
guys
girls,
communicating?
actually. What's that?
So how do you guys mostly communicate?
Mostly Facebook, you know, this social media craze is the thing now. We're working on building a website, but most of our communication is just strictly just Instagram and Facebook. We put one of those event things on Facebook, and
Right.
it just people sign up, show up, and there you go. We team up with a lot of other companies too
Do you
that
guys
help
have
out.
a for your local running group? Do you guys have like an official Facebook page?
We have my Facebook page. With you search my name, and then it brings you up to the Trail Initiative page, and we have events posted on there.
Okay.
Um, Not the biggest computer savvy person. Eric's actually going to help me making it into a actual business account, but
Right on.
yeah, yeah, it's really cool.
That is cool.
We have a big ultra running community out here. Yeah, San Diego 100 just kicked off this last weekend here, and um, very big. We have San Diego Ultra Running Friends, the huge ultra running club. Uh, and then we have some side clubs, the San Diego Dirt Devils, YMCA Trail Runners. So it's a big culture out here. It's really, really growing, which is really awesome to see. I'm new to the sport, but
Okay, so that
all the
brings up
pros
another
just,
question. How did you get into trail running? Because if I look at your ultra sign up results, you've got quite a
yeah.
bit of finishes. I mean, you've got
Yeah,
the San Diego 50 miler, Lost Boys 50 milers, Noble Canyon 50K, Wild Horse Trail half marathon, the Nanny Goat 12 hours. So you've done your fair amount of trail running and trail races. How did you get into it?
I got into it. Actually, a friend of mine recommended Lake Hodges 50K. And I've never done a marathon in my life. I did half marathons, and my buddy told me about Lake Hodges 50K. So I just winged it. Never done a marathon before. I did Mount Laguna Marathon was my first marathon. I just did that last year, but I went from a half marathon to 50K, kind of a go big or go home kind of thing. So it was more of just a friend telling me about trail running, and I kind of got bored with running on the road. Nothing against the followers that run roads. It's just a little too painful for me.
Pretty monotonous.
So yeah, yeah, you can only look at so many buildings in a race, and it's just like, okay, you know. So um, that was it. Yeah, just kind of, hey, check this out. Let's go trail running. Met a guy on Facebook. befriended him. Now we're like best friends. He's my training partner. We run constantly all the time. So
So you got bored with run half marathons, and it was like, oh, let's go do this 50K. So leading up to that 50K,
yeah,
were you actually running on trails at that point, or were you just like straight to the trail,
I
no
was
experience?
straight to the trail,
Really?
50K right on the trail. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
what was that
no,
like?
a very slow race for me, to be honest with you, but it was instant, like instant fell in love with trails.
Right.
Like as soon as the race started, the vibe, the people, the race director was awesome. Paul Jesse, I think you guys chatted with him before. Race director of San Diego 50, Lake Hodges 50.
Right.
Um, so all these people was just a big influence. You see all these people, and it's just like it's just an instant high. And been trail running ever since. I haven't done a road race in 3 years, so
That's
um,
really cool to hear. I mean, I think
yeah,
a
it
lot of people
was
have that same experience where that first
yeah,
time they come to the trail running, they're just, well, one, it can be overwhelming because everything's really new and it makes that activity of running really fresh again, right? It's almost
yeah,
like you fall in love with it again.
and it turned into a passion. Not only just trail running, but wanted to be a part of something amazing. That's why I was like, let's start this foundation. I help help out with as many races as I can. People joke with me. They're like, "Well, you're a huge outdoors person. I love to hike, love to, be outside." And it's funny because people I know, they're like, "Well, you work at a hospital. That's kind of a catch 22, isn't it?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah. Work in a basement of a hospital, but I love outdoors." It's just kind of
You
funny to
got
me, but
you got to be balanced out, right? You can't always.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
I'd rather be like a park ranger in Yosemite and just chill out there all the time, but you know, got to feed the kids and
that's right. Maybe in your next life you
so,
can do that.
yeah, exactly,
All
exactly.
right, so tell me a little bit about access to your trails there. So when I think of San Diego, I think of kind of a bigger metropolitan area with a lot of beach, but I know on the other hand, you guys have a lot of trails. How easy is it to access the trails there?
Extremely easy. I was, when I started, I did this Lake Hodges 50K. I was like, okay, that's cool. There's one trail. Where are all these races held at? And we have Mission Trails Regional Park right here in eastern San Diego. We have Mount Laguna and Cuyamaca where they run the San Diego 100. That's only like a 45-minute hour drive from downtown San Diego.
Okay,
You just hop on the freeway and you're right in this, beautiful park. The PCT is maybe an hour and 15-minute drive, and we all know the PCT. You can run out there forever. So
right.
huge access to trails. That cleanup we did at Rose Canyon Trail, I didn't even know it existed. Um, Eric at Elevation Culture, he wanted to start his a group run outside of his shop, and he wanted to get it cleaned up before he started these group runs. I had no idea it was even there, and it's a gorgeous single track trail, right? And you can actually hear the freeway, cars on the freeway, but you wouldn't know it just looking around. It's amazing out there.
Right.
So there's trails everywhere. You have Chula Vista down by the border. There's so many Sweetwater trails out there. So I was very surprised at how metropolitan it is, but there's a lot of trails, a lot of races. They just opened a new 50K out here in San Diego, the Black Mountain 50K, which is kind of east as well. So yeah, and the weather, 75 degrees year round, you can't beat that. That's like a trail runner's dream. You
Yeah,
don't
for
have to,
sure.
not to like rub your face in it, but we don't have to worry about snow or anything like you
Oh,
guys do in Utah.
I know, man. We get crushed in the wintertime, but I guess that's kind of the trade-off.
Right,
Just having, our immediate access to the trails is, for me, it's a 5-minute drive to the trailhead, and then I
right.
can climb, 4,000 feet to the top of Mount Ogden.
There you go.
But I would take that. I would take your 75-degree weather year round for sure.
Right.
Over my immediate access. I think there's that definite trade off. So let's kind of like go ahead and spin this back around to the trail initiative. So since you guys have so many trails there and the access is it's very convenient. Do you think that leads to, more litter, more trash on the trail because of the access?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. More people obviously that aren't conscious or aware of trail etiquette. Yeah,
Right.
definitely. People go out there, and throw trash out on the ground. They I think litters just increase with public increase because they get that mindset that, oh, that's what park rangers are for, is to clean up trails, clean up after me, and with trails growing and, you know, park rangers and park staff out here, it's very limited. Um, this is strictly my opinion, but people litter because they don't feel responsible for public areas like trails and parks, and
Right.
they always just want it. Well, someone else will come clean it up, and
What does so what do well, let me think about how I'm going to say that. So most of your trails are they state trails where people have to pay to access them?
um, Mount Laguna, you need an adventure pass where it's like $30 a year. You put it in your car, and that helps with, maintaining Mount Laguna. Cuyamaca to park in certain areas, you have to pay a fee. Mission Trails is strictly free to the public,
Right.
which being strictly free is, more traffic, more people, thus more littering, and uh, yeah, so there's not really fees or, permits. And that's
Right.
another thing, why we started this um, more and more trails are just being permitted and shut down, and, you know, limiting access to uh, runners and hikers, and um, and that made me kind of upset a little bit. And well, these trails are being closed. You got Mount Whitney, you need a permit. Grand Canyon, you need a permit. And
Right.
more and more trails
But those are being
are
closed just because of the volume of people.
right,
Or not
volume.
closed, but you basically have to like schedule the day that you're going to go
Right,
and
right.
climb Whitney. And the
And I
Grand
can
Canyon,
see.
if you want to do like a double crossing of the Grand Canyon, you're still able to do that now. But I think in the future, they're
Right,
going to definitely say, okay, you've got to make a reservation to do this.
right. And that's for traffic, but I can see it happening more and more due to, you know, the trails and outdoors and things of that nature. We go out to Mount Laguna after the winter because we don't get snow here, so everybody goes to Mount Laguna to play in the snow. And you should see some of the trash that's left behind. It is uncanny. Um, I'll see piles of trash just sitting maybe 10 feet away from a garbage can.
So these people
Just
are going out and like camping and just like hanging out and
camp.
leaving all their stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen piles of trash out there. It's unreal. Graffiti out on the trees. It's just um, unreal. The mount. This is just after the winter season because everybody wants to go up and hang out in the snow.
Right.
So
That's pretty sad.
yeah, yeah, and and the main reason of this initiative was, my son loves the outdoors,
Right.
and you know, if we don't take care of trails and the outdoors and nature right now, there's going to be very few places to um, spend when they're older. So
So how do you
that,
plan on combating this? It's almost like you have the different type of people that are going to litter. So you have those people that are going to go and they're going to party and they're going to camp and they're going to just leave all their trash there. And then you have those people that are maybe somewhat conscious of their actions, but they think, oh, like you said, there's a park ranger. They're going to come by. They're going to pick it up. And then you have this third
Right.
group of people that are the accidental, like litterer. They don't realize that they dropped something, right? And I think a
Right.
lot of trail
Right.
runners are kind of guilty of the accidental one because a goo packet will fall on the ground. They didn't mean to,
Right.
right? So you almost have to have like a three-headed, way of dealing with these different groups. So tell me a little bit. Do you have a plan how you're going to, approach each of these groups? How do you see the trail initiative being most effective in making people aware of their actions?
Um, well, by the public, the non-trail community, non-outdoor community, I think expressing our own passions with the outdoors and trails by letting guilty parties know, hey, this is not acceptable. We see people littering and stuff. Approach them kindly, and just be like, hey, this needs to be picked up. It's gonna, and we always use, hey, we're gonna more and more fees are gonna be added if we keep doing this. Kind of like coach them into be like, hey, you're enjoying it because it's free. You're enjoying it, but you keep doing stuff like this, it's gonna be more and more money. And I just looked up some of the California laws. I think it's $100 fine with 8 hours of cleaning of trash for first-time offenses, and
So
then second, third, and
are
fourth.
you going to get that for sure? If somebody's caught, is it $100 fine or eight
This is if
hours, or is it
it's
both?
both.
Oh
It's
my
both.
goodness, that's so
And
awesome!
yeah, and then after that, if you're a second-time offender, it's $750 and 20 hours of cleaning up trash if caught by park rangers or local law enforcement. Yeah, I looked that up just last night. I was curious. I was like, man, what is some of the punishments for, it's pretty strict out here in California. California is so populated that they're really strict on recycling, separating your trash, which is a good thing.
Right.
Yard waste actually goes, when we do yard work, it actually goes into a green trash bin to be recycled into mulch and reused.
Right.
As far as like trail runners, I'm still working with local race directors. Like I said, we're still new, so I'm still getting the word out.
Right.
But I always wanted to do maybe like say this San Diego 100 just happened, and most of our races they're really good about going back and cleaning up and leaving it the way they found it. I think all race directors, trail runners, we all are pretty conscious about that.
Right.
But I was wanting to talk to some race directors about maybe doing like a fun run after a race, and do like a sweep of the course with different groups at different sections of the race, and just have a good time, getting together, making it fun, and then going after a race and just sweeping courses, cleaning, things like that. They do a good job because they have like course sweepers that take down the course markers,
Oh,
and they usually will pick up the trash as they're picking
right.
up markers. But
But they're
I
only
think
they're only
making it
seeing that narrow corridor when they're
right,
sweeping a course, because a lot of times that trash will be off the side of the trail and they might not get off their horse and go get it. So that'd be kind of cool
right,
if you set that up that way where you guys are like,
yeah,
okay, not only are we going to try to clean up the incidental, but we're also looking for
hmm
stuff that's out there that might be bigger. So like you said,
right,
the plastic water bottles, which is like the bane of the existence for trail users, right? I think that'd be a really good
mm,
idea.
yeah, yeah, and making it fun because when you say, hey, we're just gonna go up and clean up trash, and then people are like, it's a Saturday, so we try to make it fun. We try to, get camaraderie, some, time to like meet some new people,
Right.
maybe do a fun run trail. A certain section of a trail is really bad. Do a fun run and make it like an event. Here's two teams. Whoever picks up the most trash in this 10-mile training run you know,
They win
win
something.
something or right. Yeah.
You get some companies to donate some stuff, so that way there's an incentive for
Yeah.
people to
Yeah.
come out.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
think maybe another way you can incentivize people to do that is if you've got, say, you got San Diego 100, and I don't know if they require volunteer or trail work hours to enter
Yeah.
the
They do.
race. They do.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's something that you can partner with those guys to say, hey, if the Trail Initiative is going to have a trash cleanup on this day, if you go out and do 8 hours, then that counts as your service requirement.
Right. Yeah. And I got some paperwork from the Rangers saying, like, not even for races, like volunteer like that. I have the forms to give these people volunteer hours. We do have, it's called San Diego Trail Fit, that they're a big part of the Mount Laguna, Cuyamaca area of keeping that maintained. Trail Initiative is more inner city kind of trails for now, and then
Right.
I'm looking to maybe possibly team up with the Trail Fit guys up in the mountains.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a book of ideas. It's just putting them into action. I gotta
Well,
really
yeah.
prioritize how.
I mean, you're just getting this thing rolling, but it sounds like it's a really good idea. So you're going to
Yeah.
start there local in Southern California. You're going to focus on mostly urban trails, it sounds like. And I think a lot of trail running towns are classified into the urban trail system. Did you
Hmm.
have any plans to grow that to other cities and then to other states?
Oh yeah. I would like to eventually, once we get the details hammered out with the this first chapter, I would love to start chapters in different states, um, all over the country, because each state has their own, you know, hurdles as regards to litter and trash and
Right.
trail restoration, trail cleanups.
But I think there's
You
some
know, I
universal truths to every trail town, right? So like for
yeah,
Um, I know that Waterfall Canyon is going to have a lot of trash in it after every weekend because people want to hike up and see the waterfall. And these type of people
hmm,
that go up and see that waterfall, they might only hike once a month or even once a year. And they don't quite
right,
understand what their impact is on that watershed by leaving orange peels or leaving that water bottle.
right,
They don't see that they have a responsibility for going out and using those trails. And there's, your trail initiative, if there were signs at the trailhead saying, hey, please, please pack all your stuff out, but said in a nice way at a big sign right in front of the trash can. I think that would help
right.
out.
Oh yeah, yeah. We it's funny you brought that up. Me and Eric are actually talking to the Rangers to adopt the trail we were I was telling you about where we claimed Rose Canyon, and adopt that trail and put a sign up saying this is maintained by Elevation Culture, the Trail Initiative, you know, and yeah, definitely make signs, buy trash cans, you know, and maybe purchase some more trash cans. I know another thing that's a big problem is some people they only see a trash can at the middle of the trailhead or the beginning of the trailhead. I'm thinking maybe put a couple as you go kind of thing, you know, and have different um, chapters or adopt different trails, you know, and maintain it.
Right.
That's one of the ideas I was talking to Eric about is how about we, you know, incorporate more opportunities to put these receptacles in different parts of the trail because most of the receptacles are just at the beginning of the trail and people get kind of lazy and they get out there and they're like, I don't want to carry all this back.
Right. I think the
So,
only drawback to having a trash can out in the middle of the trail is one, how are you going to secure it against wildlife? And
right,
two,
exactly.
how are you going to have an easy access for somebody to come in and change that out?
Right.
So you can probably
So,
figure that out though. You can be like, all right, if this is your chapter and you're responsible for this trail, then you're responsible for that trash can. You got to figure out how to get it in and out by foot traffic.
right.
That could be a good
Yeah.
workout.
Good workout, yeah, yeah. I'm still brainstorming some things. I always love taking people's input. That's when you guys contacted me about being on this podcast, I was super stoked because I love taking insight from different folks and different people. Because when you see it, just you and what your goals and dreams are, other people can bring this in and be like, well, that might be a little hard. That might be, we'll try this. So, yeah, it's a great thing. We have a lot of ideas, a lot of things going. I'm hoping to get a chapter in, more LA area and beyond. And then hopefully get it across the country. I'm talking to a couple folks in Nevada about starting a Las Vegas chapter.
Right.
So
Yeah, they've got a pretty big trail system. I mean, you don't think of Las Vegas as having, a big trail system, but they got a pretty big one out there by that Mount Charles area.
oh yeah, I got six races this year in Las Vegas alone.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I have one actually in a couple of weeks in July,
So what, in
which
July, Las Vegas?
yeah, yeah. I also have Valley of Fire 50K, so
Wow, when's that
that's
race?
out there as well. I think that's up in September.
Right. So it might cool off just a
So
touch.
just a touch, yeah. I'm used to. I don't know how I'm going to train for this. I'm in 75-degree weather. It's going to be 100 plus out there in July for
Exactly.
some of these
So why
races.
why are
But
you drawn to the Las Vegas races? I mean, you seem like you have a
I
bunch there in Southern California. Is this like a new area and you just want to go explore it?
that and I was born and raised in Las Vegas, so
Oh, okay.
um, I'm also an ambassador for a running company out there. So they want me to check out their new races, give them some feedback and things like that too.
Right.
So
Well, that's awesome. Well, I think what you're doing is really rad. One of our local trail runners, Logan Ledford, he basically did the same thing you did. He for his way of coming about it was a little different. He wanted to
mhm.
kind of promote inclusion within our trail running community here. And he had, one day, let's go out and let's collect trash. And he collected a whole bunch of trash.
Right.
So he became like the focal point of he's the trash dude, right? And when somebody sees trash on the trail, they're like, Logan, let's get this organized. And one of the problems that he's coming up against is everybody's relying on him to
Right.
to do it instead of having like a local chapter like what you're doing, which would be so cool to have here because the Wasatch Front has the same problem that San Diego does.
Mhm.
It has easy access to the trails and it's getting loved to death. So I'm excited once you get this to the point where you can spread it to other places because we would definitely like to have something like that here.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. And and some cities are just so big, it's hard to reach everything with just one chapter. So
Right.
you got Temecula, that's a couple hours away. You got, La Jolla, different sections. It's San Diego greater area, but it's so spread out that it takes many people
It does.
to make something great. And right now we're just for 4 months, it's growing and it's really awesome to grow. And now it's taking that growth and um, organizing it. And that's one of our biggest hurdles right now is organizing, getting reliable people to be chapter, take on chapters as leaders
Right.
and things like that. But it's a hurdle. Us trail running, we take hurdles and obstacles and just climb over them and keep going. So
We sure do. Have you guys filed as a 501(c)(3) yet?
not yet. Right now, it's just more of a um, just a local kind of thing. That's another agenda on my to-do list is to file to
Right.
be an actual nonprofit organization which will help.
That way you can
Um,
start getting some money in, right?
yeah, exactly. We're making some hats, some merchandise and stuff like that. So yeah, I think next week actually I got a meeting to talk to some people about actually making it a nonprofit organization, which will help with growth,
Yeah.
help with getting it bigger and
Right.
spreading the word about it. We're actually we're making a website, getting a calendar on our website of different events, making it easily accessible to people. They can go on the calendar and be like, oh, they're doing a run/cleanup on this day. I think I'm going to go.
Right.
Kind of steer away more, not steer away, but make it more legit by making a website rather than using Instagram, Facebook. Instagram and Facebook are great tools, but to make it really grow into something national, we'd have to put a website and make it, really legit. So
Right. And then sponsors are
yeah.
going to want to see that too. They'll be like, okay, these
Right,
guys are
right.
totally legit, and this will be a good place for us to put our brand, our logo will be associated with them. That'll definitely help
Right.
you guys draw that next level of sponsorship dollars coming in for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, that's
So yeah, we're
exciting.
taking that and doing that and getting it going. It's gonna be great.
Right on. So you guys got something coming up soon? You got another cleanup going on in your area?
Yeah, we have a cleanup. We're gonna be the trail we've been working on. We're just gonna be moving it up a few more miles, and that'll be in a couple weeks. We were gonna do it this week, but San Diego 100, we didn't want to take away from that.
No.
Rock and Roll Marathon was here. We didn't want to take away from that either. So we kind of been on a little hiatus a little bit for events due to some of the races, big races we didn't want to take away from.
Right.
Um,
Are you guys going to do something like every month? Is that kind of like your plan right now?
but maybe, um, and then we do group runs. So this last group one is all women except me. So,
Yeah, I saw that. You're lucky
which is
dude, man.
cool. What's that?
I saw that picture. You were a pretty lucky
Oh
guy.
yeah, right. Very lucky. No, these trail ultra the ladies out here are amazing, amazing runners, amazing talent here. Um, so yeah, we need to get the guys to step it up a bit, but it was fun. So we're planning to do like group runs, make it fun, get the word out, get some brochures made, start mailing some of that stuff out. So.
Right. So if somebody wanted some more information, what's the best way for them to contact you right now?
I have an email, thetrailinitiative@gmail.com,
Okay.
all one word.
Right.
They can email me, anything and everything. I check it daily.
And then you have a
Our
couple,
Instagram,
yeah, so you got a couple social feeds right now. You got Instagram.
yes, yeah.
What's your Instagram handle?
If they just search the Trail Initiative in Instagram, they'll see it right there. We have
Okay.
our own set, Instagram page, and then if they search on Facebook, Michael Laymon,
All right.
Laymon on Facebook, you'll see our logo right there. And yeah, join us, befriend us, and follow us.
Okay.
I post events and everything on Facebook. We post pictures and stuff we're doing on Instagram. So
Right on.
yeah.
Well, if the Trail Manners crew can help in any way, besides getting this out there to all our listeners, let us know because we'll do our best because we're strong believers and we're passionate about keeping the trail as clean as it can be, so that way everybody has access to it. And we really appreciate what you guys are doing down there in Southern California for sure.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I always loved this saying by Vince Lombardi. He always said, the climb to the top, you never were dropped on the top of the mountain. You have to climb to it. So we're climbing, and we hope to get to the top soon. And it's just setting that example, showing people, hey, not when we're littering or doing things we're not supposed to out on the trail, we're not just hurting the trail now, we're hurting the trail for kids and future generations and things like that.
That's right. So
So
you just have to be conscious of your behavior, so that way you don't
yeah,
ruin it for everybody else.
right, exactly. So,
Right on, Mike. Hey, I want to thank you for taking your time today and talking to us about the Trail Initiative. I'm psyched on it. I think you're going to do some great things.
well, I appreciate you having us. It was great talking to you about it, and
I think we'll get you
thank you
back
for
on
that.
again once you get this thing like freaking big and it's rolling and it's in all 50 states, we'll definitely get you back on the show. Because it'll be interesting to see, you know, how it's progressed and what hurdles you're bumping up against and how you've overcome them. So I look forward to that conversation.
Oh yeah, me too. And if you have anybody out there that wants to be a chapter president, have them give me an email, or is interested or wants some more information. Have them send me that email, and we can get the ball rolling out in Utah as well.
Yeah, for sure. I'll include Michael's contact information in the show notes. So if there's any listeners out there that are interested in doing this and being part of the Trail Initiative, his contact stuff will be in the show notes. You can find them on Instagram, the Trail Initiative. Also, you can find him on Facebook. Mike, thanks again for taking your time, for joining us.
Well, thanks. Thanks for having us.
The Trail Manners Podcast. Again, this is show number 88. I'm your host, Joel Hatch, with Eric Manning, and thanks for listening today.
Thank you for listening to the Trail Manners Podcast. We'd like to thank Michael Laymon from the Trail Initiative for taking the time to join Joel on the phone today. You can check more of him out on Instagram at the Trail Initiative. We also want to encourage everybody to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Trail Manners, or swing by our website at trailmanners.com. There on the store page, you can check out some cool gear, grab your swaggin' rights, or hit us up on the contact page. Let us know what you want to see, who you want to hear, or if you would like to be on the show. Until next time, this is Eric Manning with Joel Hatch reminding you, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. Now go get it.